Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
What if the Blue Jays are close to untangling their infield mess without Bo Bichette, without Alex Bregman, and without committing massive money, while most of the baseball world is locked under the obvious headline names? Quietly, Toronto has been connected to a player who once drove in 79 runs in a single MLB season, and that single detail shifts the entire conversation. Stay with me, because this isn't a last-minute scramble. It's a calculated plan. Welcome back to Jays Nation News, where the focus is market intelligence, not hype. Context is everything, and it matters more here than it may initially appear. The Blue Jays are coming off a draining, emotionally charged season that ended with a heartbreaking Game 7 loss in the World Series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. That result isn't just a footnote, it directly influences how the front office approaches the offseason. Teams that get that close to a championship don't tear everything down, and they don't coast either. Their response is usually precise, detached, and strategic. That's exactly the tone Toronto has been setting. There's no sense of satisfaction or complacency, only quiet urgency. The organization has been working assertively behind the scenes, aiming to strengthen the roster not just for immediate contention, but for sustained competitiveness in the years ahead. As a result, the 2025 offseason isn't centered on one player or one decision. It operates as an interconnected system. The futures of Kyle Tucker, Bo Bichette, Alex Bregman, and Ketel Marte are all linked. A shift in one direction reshapes everything else. It's a delicate board where timing, leverage, and market awareness matter just as much as raw talent. And within that complexity, the name Yoan Moncada surfaces, not as a splashy headline, but as a functional piece of a larger mechanism. Moncada was linked to the Blue Jays by MLB insider Francis Romero on December 26, 2025, alongside teams such as the Angels, Pirates, and White Sox. Despite a recent history of thumb and knee injuries, Romero made it clear that Moncada had a respectable 2025 season and still projects as a meaningful contributor among third basemen heading into next year. When the analysis shifts away from speculation and into the actual numbers, the case grows stronger. In just 84 games, Moncada recorded 58 hits, 35 RBIs, and 12 home runs, efficient production given his limited availability. Among Angels players who appeared in at least 80 games, he ranked 5th in batting average, 3rd in on-base percentage, and 4th in slugging. The advanced metrics tell an even more compelling story. According to Fangraphs, Moncada posted a 117 WRC+, the third best mark on the team behind only Mike Trout and Taylor Ward. Applied to Toronto's 2025 roster, that output would rank 7th overall, sitting neatly between Alejandro Kirk and Tyler Heineman. This isn't a media-driven superstar profile, but it is tangible, above-average offensive value. And that circles back to the original premise, stabilizing the infield without Bo Bichette, without Bregman, and without a massive financial commitment. Crucially, Toronto does not appear to view Moncada as a lone solution or a savior. The approach is far more nuanced. He profiles as a smart fit within the existing roster structure, especially given the uncertainty surrounding Bichette. The front office seems focused on protecting the infield structure heading into 2026 rather than chasing a short-term fix. With young players like Orelvis Martinez, who led his team in RBIs last season, and power-oriented prospect Giovanni Planchart in the system, adding Moncada doesn't block development. Instead, it creates a bridge, nearly a decade of MLB experience that buys time and reduces pressure on younger players. That's not improvisation, it's sustainable roster planning. Looking further back adds another layer of logic. As early as 2016, Moncada was labeled a 5-tool talent with plus raw power and a plus arm. That upside peaked in 2019 when he produced 116 hits, 79 RBIs, 25 home runs, and 10 stolen bases in just 132 games. That season represents the ceiling Toronto would be targeting, not at superstar pricing, but through an asymmetric risk play. Given current market conditions, the acquisition cost is likely controlled, while the upside, if health cooperates, remains substantial. This is precisely the type of inefficiency elite organizations try to exploit, recognizing that injured players are often mispriced by the market. That said, the risks are real and can't be ignored. Moncada has played 100 or more games in only 4 of his 10 MLB seasons. Durability isn't a side note, it's the central concern. There's a legitimate chance that availability never matches ability. Additionally, if Toronto ultimately resolves the Bichette or Bregman situation, Moncada could become redundant or function as an expensive contingency rather than a core piece. Advanced metrics help frame potential impact, but they don't override a fundamental truth of baseball. Availability is a skill, and in Moncada's case, it has been inconsistent. In the end, the thesis is straightforward. The Blue Jays continue to behave like a top-tier organization, one that anticipates the market instead of reacting to it. By exploring players like Yoan Moncada, Kazuma Okamoto, and Ketel Marte, Toronto is clearly preparing for multiple outcomes rather than betting everything on a single move. That's the line separating competitive teams from truly well-run franchises. So, let me ask you, Jays Nation, does Moncada make sense as a smart asymmetric risk addition, or should Toronto push all its chips toward a single maximum impact name to finally lock down the infield? Drop your analysis in the comments.